President of Egypt, Mohamed Morsi, is in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia for his first state visit. We have more on those stories and others in this roundup report.
In southern Nigeria burned to death when a tanker truck carrying fuel crashed. The truck did not immediately burst into flames, so nearby villagers rushed to the scene to collect fuel, but the tanker then exploded. Authorities say they expect the death toll to rise. Togo's Prime Minister Gilbert Fusson-Hungbo has stepped down. He was government leader since 2008. No reasons have been given for the surprise decision, but his resignation comes as the Save Togo collective successfully organized several protest marches. The collective, made up of political parties and civil society associations, is demanding clean and fair elections and the creation of a National Commission on Human Rights. Egypt's newly elected Islamist president chose Saudi Arabia as the destination for his first official visit. Mohamed Morsi met with King Abdallah in what they called productive talks. Relations between the two countries have been cold for a year and a half. The Saudis were allies of Hosni Mubarak and hostile to the Egyptian revolution. Riyadh's relations have always been rocky with Morsi's Muslim Brotherhood group. These Libyan reporters are demonstrating to demand the release of two of their Misrata television colleagues. The two were taken prisoner in the pro-Gaddafi stronghold of Bani Walid. The armed militia Misrata are threatening to attack Bani Walid if the reporters are not released. Fighters from Misrata took part in last year's lost battle for the town of Bani Walid.
The Minister of Defense is in the northern city of Bouake ahead of a massive demobilization of former NRA forces combatants. Many of those combatants who fought in Ivory Coast's long civil war are finding it difficult to reintegrate into society. Defense Minister Paul Kofi Kofi says the Ivorian government wants to know the status of all former combatants a year after the end of hostilities.
In Côte d'Ivoire, the Defense Minister has decided to launch a census on former fighters here in Bouake, which was the former rebellion's stronghold. The aim is to prepare their reinsertion.
We're in 2012. The crisis has been over since 2011. What's happened to the people? Where are they? We need to know. We've had problems before. We need to reinsert them.
Former fighters can be seen here heading to the ceremony. They want their voices to be heard.
We're waiting for something to be done for us, be it work, money, or whatever.
Ahmed Traoré is a former fighter, and people used to call him General. He spent 10 years fighting under the flag for the Force Nouvelle, but today he feels abandoned.
You have someone who was once like this, who finds himself like me, without a voice, without anything. It's regrettable.
Today, Ahmed Traoré has barely enough to survive on a daily basis. He does what he can with his makeshift bookstore. He no longer believes promises. For the past 10 years, identification, demobilization and reinsertion operations keep coming and going without much success.
It's all very well to send people to carry out a census, but it's more important that we urgently be given good trousers to replace the ripped ones. I'm telling the minister as a citizen. If he's here today, it's because we sacrificed our lives.
A number of former fighters still have their weapons, posing a potential threat to their necessary reinsertion.
And in sports, the racism trial of England centre-back John Terry is finally drawn to a close. Chelsea Football Club captain is accused of racially abusing an opponent during a match last year. It is a charge he denies. The verdict is expected to be handed down 2 p.m. on Friday. CNN's Matthew Chance is following proceedings at London's Westminster Magistrate Courts.
The magistrate within the past few minutes has adjourned the court here at Westminster in central London, saying that he'll have his verdict ready tomorrow afternoon, so Friday at about 2 p.m. Local time, 13 hours or so from now. For the rest of the afternoon, the court's been adjourned while he considers his his judgment. But all throughout the course of this morning, the defence and the prosecution have been summing up their final arguments. The prosecution making the point, they say, that John Terry is guilty of straightforward racial abuse with those sexual swear words coupled with the word black that he admitted uttering on a pitch last year during a football match between Chelsea and Queen's Park Rangers on the Premiership side. Of course, the words came within the context of a sort of barrage of abuse that was flowing between John Terry and his opposing player Anton Ferdinand, but the prosecution made the point that the context doesn't matter. It's whether the phrase was meant as abusive, as they say it is, or whether it was meant as repetitive, as John Terry claims that it was. The defence, in their summing up, said that the prosecution case entirely depends on speculation. Only Terry knows what he heard or what he thought he heard, because there's no video evidence of what Anton Ferdinand had to say. It also spoke about the evidence given by another Premiership footballer yesterday, Ashley Cole, saying that he saw, or thought he believed he saw, the word black being uttered by Anton Ferdinand. If Terry's words were not meant as repetition from Ferdinand, then the defence said that should be the end of this case.
From sports, we now shift our attention to the weather report by the Central Forecast Office.
The source assures us of a continuous flow, and from there, everything follows. And for those of us who know what the River Gambia stands for, understanding its sustainability in all aspects of life is easily confirmed. The River Gambia provides nutritious delicacies as food, while it provides its wildlife a balanced ecosystem. This river, as a sanctuary, is committed to its inhabitants' needs without season. And as you travel along, all these values are replicated in one company, Elton, just like the River Gambia, leads in its commitment to values that matter most. Elton, championing the vision for a new generation.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to the weather segment. We begin with the summary. We experienced a warm and variably cloudy atmosphere, and rain affected some places. Figures recorded are as follows. Sibano recorded the highest with 51.3 millimeters, Kerawan 34.5 millimeters, Jinoy recorded 10.7, Yundum 4.6, Basse 3 millimeters, and Banjul 0.4 millimeters. We now take a look at the satellite image indicating thunderclouds over Mali, Gulf of Guinea states, the central and the eastern part, which will cause thunderstorm and rain over the affected areas. For the forecast tonight, we'll be expecting a cloudy atmosphere to prevail over the entire country onwards morning, with chances of rain, particularly over areas within Lower River, North Bank, and West Coast region. The day tomorrow, we'll be expecting warm and partly cloudy atmosphere to prevail over the entire country, with chances of rain and thunderstorm by the late evening onwards night. Winds will be light gentle westerlies over the West Coast region, whilst over the inland areas, light gentle southwesterlies. Morning temperatures will vary between 24 and 25 degrees Celsius, whilst afternoon temperatures will vary between 29 and 33 degrees Celsius. For those going to sea, we'll be expecting a low tide of 0.72 meters at 11:25 a.m. and also 0.56 meters at 11:55 p.m. For the high tides, we'll be expecting 1.35 meters at 5:43 a.m. and also 1.33 meters at 5:44 p.m. Wave heights will vary between 1 to 2 meters, and they will be mainly southwesterly swells. The sun will rise at 06:41 and will set at 19:34. It's now time to take a quick look at the international forecast. Thanks for joining us, and do have a wonderful evening.